What it is. I am your main man, Mikey D, aka Stony Mike, and I'm here to give you a nice little Stony playthrough. But before we get into that Stony playthrough, you already know what time it is. We gotta take a nice little flashback into yesteryear. We're gonna take a look back into 2020 on the channel SJW Triggered and look at some of these no nos. We're gonna call them no nos. We just gonna call these no nos. We're gonna take a nice little page right out of our boy Bob Ross, and we're gonna be nice, and we're gonna say these are no nos. Everything that these people do, we're gonna call them no nos, and we're gonna say, hey, these no nos, you don't do these. As a human being, you just don't do these because it fucks up our social order of things. And there is a social order of things. You don't like it, tough titty, plain and simple. You're gonna have to excuse me. I'm gonna get a bunch of fruit all over my damn mustache because that's the way it is. Instead of energy drinks, I drink these now, and these are much better than energy drinks. Far better than caffeine. Never fucking thought about being. Anyway, got my bowl nice and loaded. got video here. I'm gonna pull it up right now. Here we go. Now, keep in mind, I don't have any problems with anybody speaking their opinion, but if their opinion starts to venture into the realms of authoritarianism, then I got a problem with them. And I feel the need to socially ostracize them a bit. Maybe even cut a few jokes at their expense. That's all that is. That's all that's ever going to be. I have weed coming out my... Oh my god, you can't even see this one because it blends in. Oh, this one. Oh, that's beautiful how it blends in and it slowly comes into picture. But yeah, I have this shit coming out the yin yang, and I need to find somewhere to put it better. There. And I got me one of these. It's a little topical stick, and you just roll it on. It's got THC, CBD, fucking CBG, 300 milligrams of each. Cucumber mint. Motherfucking shit works like a charm. But I'll tell you this, if you're not bundling up and you put this on, it will make you cold. It will fucking freeze you to the bone. So, and I think it's the menthol in it. God damn. I have a great pill going right up underneath right under my lip. That's why I usually have my smoothie completely completely drunk before I... Even that is... I usually have this fucking gone by now. But for some reason, you know, I fucking... slow poking it today. But anyway, let's get into this first part. Something about war with Islam. Oh lordy. I've always been a non-interventionalist type of person. I don't believe in intervening in anything unless it's like dire. Like, you know, say this one country was about to nuke another one. By all means, I say intervene, stop them from nuking that country. Because nuclear bombs affect us all. They do. Unfortunately, every time we nuke a part of this world, we're fucking up the cycle in the way shit is doing by little bitty little mini micro fractions. You do that enough, we'll have quite a bit of a problem. So things like that, totally believe in, you know, becoming interventionalist at that point. But I'm mostly for non-interventionalism, especially how countries handle their people. If they want to handle them shitty and create problems that are only going to make the whole come against the minority, which would be the ruling class, you know, that's let them be stupid and do that. You know, I don't believe in intervening in things like that. So a lot of the wars that we supposedly have gotten into, which have been over stupid conflicts like that, I don't believe in going and being involved in. So I wonder what we got going on here.
We're at a war with Islam. Are we not at a war? That is the most ignorant, stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Are we not at a war with radical jihadism?
Okay, but are they not at a war with radical Christianity, okay?
Oh my God.
Where are we at war with radical Christianity?
Really?
No, really, I don't know.
Are you kidding me?
No, actually explain to me.
Just...
Where are we at war with radical...
I mean, I can think of some times when there were radical Christians, but as far as a whole, they have not been radical. But I can think of some times, some particular key moments in history that I'm pretty sure is all that's probably inside of this dude's brain, because that's I don't even think they are in his brain because he's not even mentioning them. But regardless, uh, radicalized anything. I can literally radicalize a fucking group of toddlers. Like anything radicalized becomes a danger. Okay, it's just but stop putting radicalize this, radicalize that. Stop putting a fucking title to it, and just understand that any person with a fucking extremist thought is a fucking bad person. Period. Trying to throw up these oppositional arguments and emotional arguments, because that's all this dude's coming from, is a fucking place of emotion. I have no idea where he's what because he won't speak it, he won't say it, he just
Radical Christian.
Yeah, they're trying to target us for no reason.
Where are the radical
who's
Christian?
us, who is us? You're there by yourself, unless this girl right here is with you. You're there by yourself saying this. And like, who? What are you?
Community war. Where is that happening?
The people in power. The people in power want to make us turn on each other. That's exactly why you're trying to do this.
These are radical Christians?
Get feelings from
I
people.
just want to know about this radical Christian war.
This girl so badly wants to speak her mind, but you know we got this man mansplaining his situation. Oh my god, these fucking people, they kill me. They kill me. Oh god.
That's going on. I haven't heard of it.
Ask other countries. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you for making an ass of yourself.
Yeah, like, that's not an explanation. If anything, that is an emotional response. That's all that is. I can't think of any. I can't think of anything. And then here she's coming to explain.
Now let's watch your girlfriend do the same.
Assalamu alaikum. Okay. Do you know what that means?
Yeah, I actually lived in the Middle East for 2 years as a child.
Well, fuck. That's really good.
This person right here. Look at her face. It is like she was in a state of perplexed.
Watch your girlfriend do the same.
She's still no. She's
Assalamu
mistaken.
alaikum. Okay. Do you know what that means?
Yeah, I actually lived in the Middle East for 2 years as a child.
Well, fuck. That's really good. Now, if you could reply with the proper, like,
Well, you see, I had a... Yeah, no.
Alaikum assalam.
Yeah, not a fan. See,
Have a good day.
Growing up there as a young girl, I wasn't a big fan of, like, having to cover myself all the time. And, the actual rape culture that goes on in the Middle East. And, throwing gays off of buildings and such. I wasn't a big fan of that.
Yeah, everybody loves to be gung-ho supporter of Islam until you find out that they will throw any fruitcake they find off the fucking roof. That will happen. And I say that jokingly because that was a legit joke. A buddy of mine who is a gay man from the Middle East, he left. Naturally. He left, and he was like, yeah, they would find any little fruitcake like me off the roof. And when he said that, it made me laugh my ass off, because I told him, I said, you do realize that you're going to a country now where a lot of people will swear that they are for you to speak your mind and say things like that, but the moment you say that, they will try to call you a bigot and throw you on a cross and do all kinds of horrible shit. He found out the hard way. Because the moment he spoke his mind, the way he speaks, because he's kind of like me in the manner, like, he will treat someone who's, anybody, doesn't matter what they are, even if there's somebody that do things that are not a part of their lifestyle. Like me, he's okay. He can just not agree with that moment of things, and then still find reasons to be friends with that person. There's no. I don't understand how people have gotten to the point to where they are. I've tried to figure it out because we're slowly diverting into this like weird repeat of things where people do a lot of, I want to say intentional, but I don't know if it is intentional. It could be just, these people have real good intentions but always end up doing something shitty. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. But I do know that when you try to dictate how people talk, how people fucking act, there comes this like huge fucking wave of disdain for that. So most religions, they have a control thing about how you should speak. Roman Catholics, oh hello, like they're a prime example of like what you can and can't do. Fucking Mormons, like there's so many different religious beliefs that are Christian, Muslim, Judaism that are just authoritarian in nature and are very controlling. And they create a certain type of people and a certain disdain, and those people are in this like middle bar. They don't fit anywhere on American lefty politics. They don't fit anywhere on American righty politics. They fit somewhere in that middle bar, and the more and more religious people can't follow their own doctrines, the more that middle bar grows. And before long, that middle bar will be bigger than anyone on the left or the right. So there won't be nobody to vote for your ignorant Democrat or your ignorant Republican parties anymore. That will be a thing if these weird bars continue to grow. I had this conversation literally with dude I was just mentioning. It wasn't but like 2 or 3 days ago we had this conversation, and he himself was the one who, brought out the explanation that, the bar, the middle bar used to be like this big, and now it's like it's growing and it's growing to the size that it is, and it's only growing because religions of all fucking areas, they have, I don't know, I guess lost their way. Fuck, I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of is that they've lost the ability to be who they are. It is what it is. I just, this is how I view things. You can have any opinion you want, but if your opinion starts to dictate how I have to live my life, then we're going to have problems. Because if I'm not doing anything that directly like fucks with you, and you're not doing anything that directly fucks with me, we're good. We're good. We're peaceful. We're copacetic. We're gonna be best of fucking friends, or best of fucking neighbors who just wave and move on. We ain't gotta be fucking best of friends, to be honest with you, to be civil. But to be civil, we do have to accept that opinions are opinions, and that's it. We can't dictate our opinions onto other people. And that being said, some religions like to do that. One in particular more so now than any of the other ones, but let's just say all Abrahamic little beliefs have always been that way. There is not a time in Abrahamic history for all Abrahamic beliefs to not be that way. There's still small little grasps of it in every Abrahamic belief. Until, egalitarianism is brought into any of them, which I foresee it happening with Christianity faster, simply because there are Christian sects that do talk about it and talk about egalitarianism. Speak about how, Christ was pretty close to the perfect human form of that. But I just don't foresee it happening really in my lifetime. I see too many people who want to have a problem with each other. They want to have a problem. Even though I'm coming from a place of like kind-heartedness and stuff, even my very own words will be picked apart and used against me at one point in my life because of what I'm saying. Because people who want a problem are going to create a problem. Plain and simple.
Being an American over there.
Neither am I, but you don't think Donald Trump is after the same policies?
Oh yeah, this is during
gays off of buildings. No.
This was during the time of Donny Boy. I forgot.
No, but he's openly against them in radical form.
Open against what?
Gay people, Islamic people, black people, Mexican people. He's all about the hate.
What did he do to gay people?
I have yet to hear an actual explanation of anyone saying something about Trump. I don't like Trump. I'm gonna be real with you. I do not like him. I think he's kind of I think he's a snake in the grass. To be real with you, a lifelong Democrat all of a sudden wants to be a Republican. It just seems fishy to me. So that opinion aside, I've never seen the dude do anything that would say that he's a racist or any of that crazy bullshit that people pop up. I never have. I can honestly say that. I can speak with honesty and say I've never seen that. If somebody can give me something where he truly said something that was like that, I will analyze it and look at it and fucking, run with it. But until then, everybody's arguments about this has always been based in emotion. Nothing in actual facts. No factual anything. So I just don't like hearing that at all. And I think that's a dead issue at this point, to be honest with you. And unfortunately, I think they're going to end up using Trump as a means to block real good politicians on a particular side. I really think that's going to happen. I think that there's actual decent politicians who genuinely give a fuck about the constituents that they represent, and they want to do good, but they're not ever going to be able to because you got cult-like people who worship the ground that Trump walks on. I don't understand that. That's my biggest thing against anybody who supports Trump in that manner, is that you've become cult-like. Would you feel like that would be an okay thing to do if you actually knew that that was the same thing that your Bible told you not to do? Because the Bible tells you not to do shit like that, but yet they were doing it. Very cult-like. I can bring up numerous videos of that, but that's not what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on things as they come. So, bitch was talking about Trump.
He's openly slandered a bunch of...
what did he say? I don't know. I would like to know about this. I haven't heard this.
You haven't heard anything about...
I haven't heard him say bad things about gays, no.
Okay. Well, look at stuff from the 1990s.
I don't know if you can even really compare saying a few things to really throwing them off of buildings either. I don't think
You're right. You're right. Sticks and stones will not break bones, but words do hurt.
The social justice warrior motto.
Yeah, I think I'd rather hear a few nasty words than be thrown off a building.
Just run away from that. Literally.
Run.
Run the fuck away from that, because I sure as fuck am. This is... Okay, well, she's gone away from her, so... I was going to say her, but this might be a him or a them, as they like to do now. Them don't make no sense. I can say them and when it actually makes factual sense. Like I'm going over to them now, you know. Then it would make sense. You know, like that's grammatically accurate. You know, we're to call someone a them sounds demeaning more than anything. Honestly, that's like calling somebody a it or something like that. That really sounds fucking demeaning. It's like they went full circle.
Well, for one, the wall itself will cost like $814 million just to make.
Isn't Bernie's plan like $1 trillion?
He's not trying to destroy the economy.
Some would beg to differ, but I think we can all be unified here by helping build the wall.
We're not helping to build anything. We're helping to kick people out of this country. The Mexicans themselves aren't the problem. It's the big corporations that are a problem. Start punishing the corporations.
So I never heard him say anything about Mexicans, but I did hear him say that they were coming through the Mexican border. And what he was talking about was all these politicians who are and you can say that they're not politicians doing it, but look at the money fucking trail. It's actually an open money trail. You can fucking follow it. There are politicians like Beto O'Rourke fucking paying for people from South America, as far as of South America, to come all the way up in these huge fucking I guess you could call them marches, but I don't know what the fuck you want to call them. But they're a whole bunch of they're promised a bunch of shit that they aren't ever going to get. The people who are promising them that and are orchestrating them are paid by politicians. Yeah, that happens. And it's now got to the point to where you got people like what's the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, fucking saying shit, and sending them off. Like okay, normally we send them back, and then it's this long process, but you know what, fuck it, we're gonna we're gonna send them to the actual houses of these politicians. Yeah, I don't think it's fair to the people that are being used like a fucking volleyball with these politicians at all. I think that's fucked. I think that is a demeaning thing to do to any human. And I personally think that every politician involved in such a fucking shitty little game shouldn't be where they are. Plain and simple. Don't get me wrong, I like some things that Ron DeSantis has said, but at the end of the day, he's a politician. He's going to say a lot of decent things that is going to get decent people all riled up and on his side. But I'm one of those people who their actions speak louder than words. Let's continue to see his actions before ever thinking he's anybody worth I guess you could say shilling for. I think there's a singular politician out there worth shilling for. I think they're all out to get us, the people. They're all out to be authoritarian figures. I don't see anything else other than that.
Stop being a racist.
Stop being a racist.
I'm just not understanding how we can't afford a wall, but we can afford all of Bernie's plans, because his are actually more expensive.
His are paid for by the people, not billion-trillion-dollar companies.
Oh, his is paid by the people, and meanwhile that motherfucker's just sitting there dancing around with everybody's fucking money. Fuck that shit. I'll never cause I like Joe Rogan in the sense, like the ideas of what Bernie was saying. everybody on paper, when they write these things down, looks fucking amazing. But in action, it's never fucking going to work. None of it ever fucking works. Because why? Because there's always some fucking greedy little shit fucking goblin fucking putting his goddamn shit fingers in it. I swear to God. It's always the fucking case. I'm just gonna skip past that whole entire segment because those people are just
on that this idea that the relationship between a corporation and a worker is an entirely voluntary one is a figment of our imagination. The reality is that the relationship depends upon the balance of power. Because if you were to really believe that it's totally a voluntary relationship, then you should be arguing for child labor, because that was legal at one time, and that was argued as a beneficial thing for the economy. So we have to understand that it's a balance of power.
From whether we need customers with more money to have that that base, but we'll be addressing some of the underage working here shortly. Ben.
Yeah, I mean, I'll refrain from talking about child labor, especially given the fact that the rationale for child labor laws is that children are incapable of consent, right? I mean, that's the rationale for child labor laws.
Although your child did appear on television last night.
She did, without her consent, but I will tell you that she immediately joined SAG-AFTRA.
The rationale for child labor to be legal was that children are exploitable, more exploitable. That's why businesses wanted it, and people had to fight against it.
Isn't it businesses may want it, but the fact is that the children are not capable of consent, which is why the legislation was appropriate from all ideological points of view. In terms of whether basically this trickle up economics, this idea that if you pay people $15 an hour, it will help the general economy, it's evidencing a differential point of view with regard to how money is invested and what makes your life as a consumer better. The truth is that Mother Teresa did less good for the world than Bill Gates, as a general matter. Because more people gained their jobs through Bill Gates, more people have a product that Bill Gates created, more people's lives have been bettered through Bill Gates. Mother Teresa did a lot of wonderful things. But the reality of the situation is that what makes your...
He also forced a lot of fucking shit, too. See, that's, because he's, he's I'm pretty sure, a very devout Jewish man, Ben Shapiro. But you also fail to forget what these people did in the name of their God, their almighty Skyman. You forget what they did. Your gods told you to go and spill the blood of the innocent. Mine told me to uplift my people. I can't get behind none of these people. Argument is, in favor of his. I'd say 99.9% of the time, I am in favor of the same thing that this man has argued for. I'm going to be real. Like, almost every argument I've ever seen him going against, I've always, been on that. But there's something about him and that whole group of people that just rubs me the wrong way. I don't know what it is. It's just, and maybe it's like, my ancestors are like, hey, don't do it. So, maybe it's that.
Your life better than people's lives were 50 years ago is all the new products and services developed by all the rich people who hire you. All of you out there who I'm sure are not rich, are you working for a poor person right now? Who is hiring you? Who's paying your salary? Unless you're working for the government, and even then you're not working for a poor person, you're paying for the rich people who actually pay the taxes that pay for you to work for the government. So this idea that economic growth is a function of people making $15 an hour versus $14 an hour is simply not true. The reality of the situation is that what makes the economy grow is new products and services that make your life better and which require millions of dollars in research and development. And as far as the point that was made about the salary of the CEO of Walmart, all I can say is this. Walmart has approximately, they're the biggest employer in the country. They have something on the order of 2 million employees across the country. Let's say we agree that 20 million is too much, and let's say that we cut that salary to zero. Great, we just gave everybody $10. right, for the year. So let's stop pretending that the vast wealth imbalance inside Walmart is causing poverty for people at the bottom.
You just fucked with the wrong dude. Oh man, that's funny as fuck. Oh man. I can't even with this shit. Not anymore. Every time I see this dude fucking go against somebody, it's the most funniest shit in the world. He like, it's his voice for one, because he sounds like straight up Poindexter. He's like, well, actually, like, he's that guy, you know what I mean? Like, anytime you see a cartoon, there's always that really smart dude who's really fucking smart, and he always chimes in to say, well, actually, you know, that's fucking Ben Shapiro, man. I'm telling you. I love him for who he is. I'll tell you that. I really do. I really do. And like I said, there's just something that rubs me wrong about him and his whole little crew. But outside of that, I think they're, some pretty decent people. I honestly wish, Abrahamic people would get over their authoritarian needs, but outside of that, I think that's all only problem I have with any of them. Be 110. See, I was born and raised in the South, so specifically the belt buckle of the Bible Belt. And I know all too well what a decent Christian is, and what the type of person is that. Because I don't want to call them a Christian, to be honest with you, because I feel like it does the name dirty. But they're a type of person who just, they're using Christianity like a sword. Instead of using it like a shield, they're using it like a sword. That's the best way to describe it. They use it like a weapon. They don't use it to shield themselves from anything. They use it to swing a sword at their fellow man. Those are the people. And they exist not just in Christianity, they exist in Islam, they exist in Judaism. It's a type of person. It's a type of human. And it sees an ability to seek control over people. And still to this day, there's a lot of people who have their Skyman that they like to believe in. And I say that, jokingly. I don't mean any disrespect by it for real. Technically, I have Skymen, Skywomen. So, of course, I have a more scientific belief tied to my shit. So, my scientific belief is that I believe that what my people called gods were actually humans that existed, a type of human specifically. So I believe that those, gods were just people who, have came and gone and, did great things for their time and were thus brought into creation, into words, into stone. Some of the first ever found Futhark, which is, the old Norse language. Some of the oldest that they found. Just descriptions of how a man should live. I think those are the cool fucking things. So they give you this guideline. So this is, and it always makes it out like this is how you should want to be if you want to live a good life. But good, that's a eye of the beholder kind of thing. It's pretty crazy how that shit works. I studied a lot of the old Asir talkings and shit, and all the writings of the original Futhark that was found, and a lot of it is, like I said, just how a man should hold himself, how a man should be. A man should never let his body go to waste. So, if you're sitting still, you should always still be moving. And I think that's why a lot of people who come from Norse and Scandinavian backgrounds have ADHD or whatever, where we can't just constantly moving. It's ancestry. It goes back to how our ancestral humans were evolving. And it's pretty wild. But that's my scientific viewpoint on that, see, because I'm a man of my time. And, in ancient times, I would have been considered like, something of, like English words would have been like a scholar or whatever, but I would have essentially been like considered like a wizard or whatever, just because I thought the way I'm thinking right now. That's just weird, because it's like I'm trying to think of a better English word than wizard, though. That just sounds like, you're a wizard, Harry. Which, by the way, I need to continue playing some more of that. I need to play some more Hogwarts. I found out there's a whole bunch of shit I didn't do. I may have finished the story, but I didn't finish everything else. So I may be doing that later. I'm going to hit this dab, and I am going to continue to play this, because I got into that long-ass fucking discussion about religions out of nowhere, man. See, that's what happens with me. I get stoned, and I will literally rant about the most craziest of things.
And when somebody terrorizes America or harms America in any way from other countries, what do? We bomb them, we murder them, and a lot of times innocent victims get killed in the crossfire, and that's just a part of the job. Now, when you have an issue like this, not that I agree with it, not that I think that Micah Johnson was somebody that should have been doing something like that. It's horrific either way, but maybe because he grew up in a country that was built on this kind of retaliation, he might have felt, I don't know, he might have felt that this was very apropos. The police officers ran through the black community and murdered black people like they were pigs in the streets. They shot people in the back, several individuals over the last week, and he might have felt like, well, in this country, when our enemy harms us, we retaliate.
So,
is that
Kevin,
good thinking? Absolutely not.
Is this
but
justified?
This is what happens when you have a...
Lisa's making the point that this is somehow justified, Kevin.
Not at all. I'm saying to you that this could be the thinking, because in this country,
Lisa,
a lot of times,
Lisa.
people retaliate against their enemies, and this man was maybe
Lisa.
warped.
Yeah,
I
heard what you said.
However, it's wrong on all sides. It's wrong for the police to murder and slay black men in the streets, just as it's wrong for Micah Johnson to kill
Lisa,
innocent
are
you going to let me talk?
Kevin, your turn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, first of all, the idea that Lisa says we're in a country that is harming black people as a black president sits and is a top law enforcement officer in the country is ridiculous. Loretta Lynch, and before her, I can't remember his name.
All right, so this was back in 2016 when this was originally aired. Okay, and Obama was president. Okay, so no, was he still president then? Because that was also when the election happened too. I can't see the date. Anyway, regardless, that's not even besides the point. Before people in the media started talking about race this, race that, there was no race problems anywhere. Think back to your childhood, no matter where you were. I grew up in a place where I specifically, with my skin color, was a minority. I was very few white people were there. And the few that were there were just like some were cool people and then some were just like they didn't live in Tarrant City, but they were jurisdictioned for that specific area, and Tarrant is the name of the area. It was pretty pretty wild. Like every day crazy bullshit, and most of it was gang related. So there was always something going on. There was always this, that, but there was never anything targeted about race. Ever. Not there. Not in the surrounding areas that were, predominantly, white areas. Growing up in a place in Alabama, where you hear all the stuff that happened during the Jim Crow era, and you never saw it. You never saw it because, I guess, we were the keystone of, where you don't do it no more. Where you just, you throw that shit away. That's not, and maybe that's why I never got to see it ever. Like I never, but even other people I met outside of the state of Alabama and outside, because I've been everywhere. I've been into so many places, even not mainland. So it's kind of weird because it started getting to a point to where you started seeing that and hearing it, and it was very odd. It was, during Obama's presidency. And during his presidency, you started hearing a lot more and a lot more about people talking about race this, race that. It became a race issue when people with this bitter ass face right here just started talking about it and making it up out of thin air. Now, police, I've seen, me as a white dude has seen police brutality, because here's the thing, and here's something we're not going to be able to do unless we actually focus on the actual issue. Police is a position of authority. People who are violently authoritarian in nature, people who are sociopathic in nature, will look to those positions of authority. And they will do anything they can to achieve those positions of authority. That's the only way we're going to ever fix that issue. Because I got to see it firsthand. It happened to me. Like I had a cop who clearly had an issue. He had an issue, and we had to duke it out. It took me beating him in a fist fight for him to respect me in his mind and leave me the fuck alone. He literally, it was creepy. It was a very odd thing, and that particular cop actually, he lost his job and everything. It's a very interesting story that I might be able to tell one day. But regardless, that that particular position, it is a it is a harboring spot for people who are not right in the head, and the type of people that aren't right in the head that seek that job are very good at hiding it. Very good. They will be right there in front of you and you won't know it. But I'm gonna end this because this shit's fucking. It's gotten me ranting for almost a full hour. But yeah, essentially, at the end of the day, the police are it's a position of authority, and sociopathic people will seek out that position of authority, and it takes other cops who are, actively wanting to, keep their name not tarnished because of that badge and the reputation, the ill reputation that comes with it, and 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 actually us, the citizens, point out, what the actual problem is, and not fucking create a problem that don't exist. Why would you want to create a problem that just does not exist? There's not this whole union of police officers out here who are like, so I wonder how we can put our boots on the neck of these other people today. They're really not doing that. If they were, then God bless their souls, they're fucking special. Because that's no way to live. That's just no way to live at all. But, yeah, no. Fuck that one. That one actually pissed me off. I had to cut that one off. Mainly because I kept looking over and seeing that woman's face. And I've heard her say some of the most vilest shit before, so. Started. I haven't played this game in so long. I have no idea what they did at all. My shit's getting slowed down like a motherfucker. I see. Hold up. This is some bullshit. Alright, there we go. Like I said, I ain't played this shit in so long. It ain't been that long, actually. Let's see. It was, yeah, so August of last year. Oh, that's a pretty good hot minute ago, though. Alright. Hey, look it, we're in space. He's looking at me like, man, what the fuck are you talking about? A little stubby. I remember that. Oh god. Oh yeah, I'm on my freighter, yeah. Holy shit. Aye, aye. I can already tell you I don't want to be where I'm at. Well, hell yeah, baby. I still got a bowl. I thought I smoked all this shit. Oh shit! Call me Rover. Ah, I love it. do. It's only a Class C. We can't play with no Class C. I like the way it looks though. Wait a minute, what is little stubby a Class C? Oh no, he's a Class. Ooh. Little stubby. Little stubby all the way. Yeah, I shot at it. Thought I was about to slam right into it. Got any missions? No, 6 seconds. I can make this new one higher class. Because I like the way this one looks, actually. That one looks better. Alright, stay on track. Stay on track. Any day now. came in on that fucking shit fast. Where is this taking me? What is my current picture? Ah. Looks like I'm going in the same direction. Flame ruptured planet. Wow. You know what? I want to know what a flame ruptured planet looks like. So let us go find out. Man, this is beautiful. Not gonna lie. And Mustafarian kind of way.
Extreme night temperature detected. Protection falling.
Mustafari. Because it looks like Mustafari. Let's be real. Not the volcanoes, lakes of lava everywhere. It looks good. Perfect. Alrighty, so this is where I'm going to build my base. As you can tell. I know. gotta do something about that. I gotta do something about that. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I gotta do something. Alrighty, that's where I'm going to call it. I will be back with some more of this, actually. I'm going to be back because I want to know what this whole utopia thing they were talking about is. So, anyway, you folks stay nice and stony. I will be back later. Peace.